Hello, welcome to this first video in our active listening series. In today's fast-paced work environments, effective communication is a key differentiator, right? And active listening is at the heart of it. In this session, we will explore what active listening really means and how is it different from passive hearing and how it can enhance clarity, collaboration, and trust across both personal and professional interactions. Okay, so let's begin. What is active listening? Active listening is a conscious, focused effort to fully understand a speaker's message, encompassing not just the words spoken, but also the non-verbal cues that convey emotion, intent, and context. Okay? It requires genuine presence, sustained attention, and thoughtful response. Okay? Unlike passive hearing, active listening means setting aside internal distractions because you are not formulating your reply while the other person is speaking. Instead, your full focus is on understanding that message as completely and accurately as possible, right? There are five essential components that collectively define the active listening behavior. Each plays a critical role in fostering clarity, mutual respect, and meaningful dialogue in both personal and professional settings. Okay. The first and most fundamental component of active listening is being fully present. That is, it emphasizes the importance of setting aside distractions and giving the speaker your complete attention mentally, emotionally, and physically. Okay? In today's world, we are surrounded by distractions like notifications, side thoughts, or even just waiting for our turn to speak, right? But active listening starts when we pause everything else and give the other person our full attention. Okay? So being fully present means putting your phone away, closing your laptop if it is not needed, okay? Making intentional eye contact and quieting your inner dialogue, okay? Because you are not just hearing someone, you are showing them that what they say matters to you, right? The second key component is showing that you are listening, and we do that through verbal and non-verbal cues. Okay, think about the last time someone nodded while you spoke or said I see or go on. Didn't it feel good for you? Because these small signals build trust and keep the speaker engaged. Okay, here are few powerful cues. Nodding gently when someone makes a point. Okay, leaning in slightly, maintaining eye contact without staring. We can also use short verbal cues like I get that, wow, tell me more. You don't have to speak much, okay? Because these cues say I am here, I am with you, right? The third component is reflecting and clarifying, a critical step to ensure accurate understanding. This includes paraphrasing the speaker's message and asking clarifying questions to eliminate ambiguity or assumptions. Okay? So when someone speaks, don't assume you got the full message. Okay? Instead, paraphrase what they said. For example, so what I'm hearing is ask clarifying questions. For example, when you say that, do you mean, or even reflect the emotion behind their words. For example, that sounds really frustrating. Is that how you felt? Okay. These responses show that you are not just listening, you are trying to understand their meaning and not just their words. Okay. And when people feel understood, walls come down. That is the power of clarity. The fourth component is exercising restraint. That is, by allowing the speaker to express themselves fully without interruption. Okay, we often interrupt without even realizing it by jumping in to agree, disagree, or finish someone's sentence. But when we interrupt, the other person feels cut off, rushed, or even dismissed. So instead of that, try this. Wait for a clear pause before responding. Okay. If a thought pops into your head, jot it down so you don't forget, but stay focused on the speaker. Okay. If you accidentally interrupt, pause and say, sorry, go ahead. I want to hear the rest. Okay. Giving someone space to finish their thought is a form of respect, and it opens the door to deeper, more meaningful conversations, right? The final component is responding thoughtfully based on a clear and respectful understanding of the speaker's message. Okay. Once the other person has shared their message, don't rush to give advice, judge them, or fix things right away. Okay. So instead of that, pause, reflect, and then respond. Okay. A thoughtful response can sound like, thank you for sharing that. I did not realize you felt that way. One more example. That gives me a new perspective. Here is what I am thinking. One more example. How can I support you right now? Thoughtful responses show empathy, awareness, and care, right? It is not just about saying the right thing, it is about responding in a way that honors the other person's voice. Okay? Just to recap, active listening is more than just staying quiet while someone talks. It is made up of five key components. Number one, being fully present. Number two, showing verbal and non-verbal cues. Number three, reflecting and clarifying. Number four, not interrupting. Number five, responding thoughtfully. Okay. Now that we have explored the five core elements of active listening, it is time to see how these principles play out in real world situations. Okay. What does active listening actually looks like? And just as importantly, what does it look like when it is missing? Okay. In the following examples, you will see a range of everyday interactions, some that demonstrate strong listening behaviors and others that highlight common mistakes. Okay. As you watch them, try to identify which components are being used effectively and which ones are being overlooked. Okay. Each example is an opportunity to sharpen your awareness and strengthen your own listening skills. Okay. Example one. In this scene, we see a great example of active listening in a one on one setting. Okay. The woman in focus is fully engaged. Notice how she maintains steady eye contact with the person across from her, even though we don't see the second woman's face. Okay. She is not just nodding, she is genuinely present, right? Watch her facial expressions and subtle cues. She is listening carefully, acknowledging responses, and asking thoughtful follow up questions, right? This is what active listening looks like: focused attention, respectful silence, and small gestures that say, I hear you and I care about what you are saying. Okay? Now let's move to the next example. As you watch this, ask yourself what is happening here. Is this active listening or something else? Pay attention to the body language, the focus, and the response. Okay? In this scene, we see a classic example of not listening actively, a movement that happens far too often during meetings, right? The presenter is sharing important information, but look at two of the attendees. They are engaged in a side conversation, completely disconnected from what is being said, right? This behavior not only shows a lack of respect, but also breaks the flow and focus of the room. Okay. Active listening starts with being fully present. And in group settings, that presence is part of how we support each other's ideas. Okay. Let us move on to the next example. Let us look at a more subtle form of poor listening. Okay. The woman here is keeping eye contact, but notice what is missing. There are no non-verbal signals, no nodding, no facial expression, no engagement. She appears to be listening, but to the speaker, it may feel like she is staring blankly. Active listening is not just about looking at someone, it is about showing, even silently, that you are with them, that their words are landing. A small nod or a warm expression can make all the difference. Okay? In this clip, we see another example of active listening in a professional context. The woman approaches her colleague with a question. He pauses his work, turns to her, and maintains eye contact, giving her his full attention. Then, instead of reaching quickly or dismissing her, he listens fully and responds thoughtfully. Right? This shows respect, collaboration, and care, all through the simple act of listening well. Okay? Now, let us look at a common mistake, that is interrupting. The man standing is in the middle of explaining something to the group. But watch what happens. Another person jumps in before he can finish. Even if the point is valid, interrupting can make the speaker feel dismissed or disrespected, right? Active listening means holding space. It means letting the speaker complete their thoughts before we share our own, right? Now, let us look at a clear example of what not to do. Here, the woman is sharing something, but watch the man's behavior. He is writing, checking his calculator, sipping his drink, and never once looks up to make eye contact. Even if he is hearing her words, his body language sends a different message, right? Lack of eye contact can make the speaker feel ignored or unimportant. Active listening means pausing even for a few seconds to look up, connect, and truly engage. Okay? Thank you for being here and investing your time in something that truly matters. In a world that moves fast and speaks loud, active listening is a quite superpower. So every time you choose to listen fully, you are giving someone a gift of being seen, being heard and understood. So take what you have learned here and carry it into your conversations at home, at work, and everywhere in between. Okay? Because when we listen deeply, we don't just become better communicators, but we become better human beings, right?